The grey clouds of Seattle hang low over a modern basketball court. Oliver sits on the bench, watching Elias. Elias is a natural. He is taller, faster, and moves with a grace that seems effortless. Everything comes easy to Elias, from high-level coding to every shot he takes on this court. Oliver, on the other hand, feels average. He has to study twice as hard to get the same grades. He has to practice 10 times as long to make the same shot. Tonight, as the rain starts to fall, Oliver feels the sting of not being enough. He wonders if the world simply belongs to the gifted, while the rest are destined to stay in the shadows. He looks at his calloused hands and wonders if all his effort is just a waste of time. Take a soft, slow breath. If you have ever looked at someone else's natural talent and felt like you were starting the race from a mile behind, I want you to listen closely. Talent is a head start, but attitude is the engine. Please open your mindset journal to a clean page. Let's sit together in this quiet moment and learn why the underdog is the most dangerous person in the room. Oliver's journey changed when he met Maya, a world-class surgeon in London. Maya wasn't the top of her class in medical school. In fact, she nearly failed her first year. She was surrounded by prodigies who could memorize textbooks in a weekend. But Maya had something they didn't: an obsession with the process. While the gifted students went out to celebrate their easy wins, Maya was in the lab practicing her stitches until her fingers bled. She didn't rely on brilliance. She relied on a relentless attitude. 10 years later, many of those prodigies had plateaued. They had never learned how to struggle, so when the work got truly difficult, they quit. Maya, however, had built a resilience muscle that was unbreakable. She became the head of her department not because she was born a genius, but because she refused to be outworked. Oliver realized that Elias's talent was actually a trap. Because things were easy for Elias, he never learned how to fight. Oliver began to view his averageness as his greatest gift. It was the fire that forced him to work harder than everyone else. Why does attitude eventually overtake talent? It comes down to a concept called the talent-effort gap. Research in neuro-psychology shows that effort counts twice. Talent times effort equals skill, but skill times effort equals achievement. When a talented person like Elias stops putting in effort, his skill stagnates. However, when someone like Oliver applies consistent effort, he experiences myelination. This is the process where the brain wraps myelin, an insulating layer, around the neural pathways being used. The more you struggle and repeat a task, the thicker the myelin becomes, making your brain signals move faster and more accurately. Over time, the average person with more myelin will literally become more gifted than the person who relied on genetics alone. I am talking to you, the freelancer in Dubai, who feels like your competitors have better connections and more luck. I am talking to you, the student in London who feels like everyone else just gets it faster than you. I see you, the 9-to-5 worker who thinks it's too late to learn a new skill. Your lack of a natural head start is exactly what will make your success story so powerful. Oliver stood up from the bench. The court was empty now, and the rain was coming down harder. He didn't leave. He picked up the ball and started to shoot. 1, 10, 50, 100. His muscles ached, but his heart felt light. He wasn't competing with Elias anymore. He was competing with his own yesterday. The transformation wasn't just in his skill, it was in his spirit. He realized that talent is just a seed, but attitude is the sun and the rain. A year later, it wasn't Elias who received the lead developer role at the firm, it was Oliver. He wasn't the most gifted, but he was the most inevitable. Myelination. The biological process that Oliver triggered through his repetitive practice, essentially upgrading his brain's hardware to surpass natural talent. Growth mindset. The belief that Maya used to view her failures as data points rather than a fixed identity, allowing her to outlast the prodigies. The talent-effort gap. The scientific formula that proves talent is useless without the multiplying power of a consistent, relentless attitude. Let's open your journal. We are going to build your resilience foundation. Identify one area of your life where you feel less talented than others. Write down 3 ways your lack of talent has actually forced you to develop a better work ethic or more creative en solution. Finish this sentence. I may not be the most gifted, but I will be the one who... The world is full of talented people who did nothing. It is the ones with the right attitude who change history. If this story reminded you of your own power today, I invite you to subscribe and join our global family of high achievers. Until next time, stay hungry, stay humble, and keep showing up.